Alright guys, Rich here from the RC Network, and this is going to be build update number 1 on my Team Durango DEX8T. This is their newest 1/8 scale Truggy KIT version. So went ahead and picked this up, and I've got to say that Team Durango has done a great job at producing a kit and making it so easy for the actual end user. Now, if you've been following my Facebook posts with all of the photos of the build, you'll notice that a lot of the components actually come pre-assembled. So the diffs were pre-assembled, the shocks were pre-assembled, the bulkheads were, they already had the differential pinion gear and also the output shaft already installed. I mean, these things went together so quickly, and usually I do 2 to 3 build updates before I started installing electronics, and you'll see here this is an hour and a half of work, and I'm already ready to start putting electronics in this great 1/8 scale Truggy now. So it's been a great kind of pleasure building this kit version. So real quick, I want to go through the way the kit's worked so far as putting it together. This is my second Team Durango build that I've done. Before I've done the DETC 410, that's their 10th scale touring car, and that was a full build. So there was not one screw that was turned for me on that particular kit. So this one is a lot different, and I'm really impressed on how fast this kit's went together. Now, the owner's manual is quite thin because there's not a whole lot to do once you start turning just a few screws that come in the bags. As far as the instruction manual, very clear and concise. They have pretty much what bag you need to open, what the items are. My only gripes on the bags is there's no order to them. So right here, I'm on step 22 here when I was doing the rear chassis brace. I had opened a bag 11 and bag 57. There was a couple times where the bags were not numbered correctly, so I've kind of notated that throughout the manual, and I'll have a full recap of that at the very end of the video series. So, but all in all, everything went great with this. My only other issue with the actual manual is they tell you what screws come in the bag here, but then in the actual manual they don't tell you what screws these are, so you have to kind of proportionately guess which ones these are. So that was my only kind of gripe. It would have been nice to have a little model number there, or what length they were, or something to that effect. So, but my only 2 gripes on the actual manual. Otherwise, it's been really, really clear and concise. They point out when to put thread lock, all that other good stuff that, you know, pretty much a novice or, you know, a pro expert would want in a manual. So, as far as items that are not included in the kit, you do not get any fluids whatsoever, so keep that in mind if you are building. You do not get thread lock, you do not get diff grease, you do not get diff oil, you don't get shock oil. So just some things that, you know, normal pros and normal RC enthusiasts will have in shop, but if it's one of your first builds, or you know, maybe you haven't built an 8 scale vehicle before, you may want to pick those things up. Now, I did go with the stock recommendations on the differentials, 2,000 in the rear, 7,000 in the center, and 5,000 weight oil in the front. The shocks I have not built yet, but they're recommending 450 in the front, 400 in the back, or 45 and 440. So that'll be down the line here. Other thing that has really kind of been interesting to me is the motor mount. So I watched a video earlier today that was just released from Travis over at Team Durango, and they have somewhat of a new motor mount, or the way that the actual pinion gear slides over to the spur, or vice versa here. So this way, you have kind of this unique mount here where the actual entire center diff slides over to the fixed pointed motor. Patent pending from Team Durango, so pretty cool that it's a new design and it's something new I get to experience here. So should be a pretty cool little feature. Their thought process is it's easier to move over a lighter item than a heavier item like the motor. You know, thus, you know, changing your center, changing your all sorts of your weight bias and all that other great stuff. So kind of a cool design. Can't wait to kind of experience that and kind of go from there. Now, as far as everything else, it just went together great. The pivot ball suspension, very similar to the Talion, but they've upgraded lots of things on here. So we do have a full CNC'd CVDs right there. Nice. I mean, if you can see the writing on there, I know writing doesn't always say things, but in this case it does. You know, just the attention to detail on some of the components were just nice. All of the dog bones or the CVDs are actually tapered, so they're thicker towards the center where they could bend, thinner towards the end. So a little bit less rotational weight, which is really nice. You have light and out drives throughout, CNC machined shock towers. You do have full CNC machined front and rear toe plates. I mean, just all of the details are definitely here. The steering rack, also a very nice item. It went together great. It is very, very smooth. Can't say enough about the steering rack. Really happy with it so far. On the rear clip here, you do get pre-installed mud boots or mud guards here on the rear for the rear actual shocks. So the kind of cool idea, kind of flexible there, so you can kind of you know, flex those around things, and got those actually right in front of the turnbuckles. So huge 5mm turnbuckles, which were assembled, which I did not gripe about one bit. I actually like that a lot. Pre-assembled CVDs. I mean, it was really, really nice to build this thing. Here's a look at the rear shock tower. That thing is just massive, has little notches in there to make it even stronger than it even looks. So sway bars are included. It is the yellow color, I believe, so not sure what that stands for, but I'll have to look at that a little bit later. Well, guys, that's going to be my update. I have some more wrench turning to do and some electronics to install in this thing. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little update here of my Team Durango DEX8T. I can't wait to run this thing. This thing looks pretty cool. I'm really, really happy to have this thing at the RC Network and build this thing and show you guys what it can do. So till then, guys, comments and questions down below. And as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.